This
Call.
employee
Yeah.
in this, it was actually in a Hong Kong office, was tricked into making 15 different transfers totaling $25 million to 5
Ouch.
different Hong Kong bank accounts after joining a video call where other participants, including senior executives, was an AI-generated deepfake. The fraudsters were actually participating in a video conference call, and everybody on the call except the
Wild.
fraudsters were deepfakes. They were fake video people, like the executives and everybody in this video were fake. Can you believe that? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of AI Tech Tuesdays. I'm your host, Crystal, with Yamille today.
Hello. Welcome, everybody.
We're always excited to start our show.
I know. So today, I kind of alluded to this last time. That company that we were talking about, I couldn't remember the name, but we dug a little deeper and we found it out.
Yes, we did.
And it was a massive fraud. It was crazy. And it's not to scare you to think that this is going to happen to you, but it's been done. And this was done actually a couple of years ago. This is not like last month or last year.
Yeah.
This was done a couple of years ago. So, Crystal, you want to get us started?
I had not read the article, but when I read the article, oh my gosh, I'm like, wow, this is super important we actually need to take an entire episode to talk about this because, oh my gosh, it is pretty crazy and insane. So ultimately, it's talking about how, AI has actually kind of changed from us being tricked into like a text or a voice into actually a larger scale, more sophisticated trickery that's going on with AI. In this specific instance, it was millions that was taken from the company. And it's extremely crazy exactly what it says in this article, because it says that the fraudsters were actually participating in a video conference call, and everybody on the call except the fraudsters were deepfakes. They were fake video people, like the executives and everybody in this video were fake. Can you believe that? So what else did you take from it? Oh my gosh.
It's crazy because I sort of remember it being something about a phone call, but it was definitely something with voice. But I wasn't aware that it was video. It was video also, right? It wasn't just voice?
No, it was video, and it says that
it was a video call.
This employee in this, it was actually in a Hong Kong office, was tricked into making 15 different transfers totaling $25 million to 5 different Hong Kong bank accounts after joining a video call where other participants, including senior executives, was an AI-generated deepfake. Can you believe that?
That is wild. That is something out of one of those sci-fi movies, right? That we always thought, oh, yeah, that could never happen. That's, but we're living it now. So I'm
reading the article, one of the articles that was published on it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot to go over in an episode, because can you imagine, like, I think that we're all pretty much on alert, for our traditional things that we're used to in phishing. And, it was like last month, this has happened to our company a few times. When we get close to payroll, we've been receiving emails telling us that they're actually an employee that works for us and that they want to change their bank account information. And we catch it. We've caught it. So we're like, we are not making any bank account information changes for anyone unless we actually talk to the person. Like we're actually talking to our employee directly. We're not making any changes by email. We're not taking instruction by email. But it's crazy because we're like, how do they know? They're literally doing research on who it is that's working, and they're actually copying everything and making it act as if that is coming directly from our employees that are working for us.
Exactly. And you probably have heard, I mean, this is not new. This has been happening for a while. But if you haven't heard, this is happening a lot in the mortgage industry, where people have wired their life savings for a down payment on a home, and they're sending it to a scam account, a fraudulent place. So somehow it got intercepted. And can you imagine hundreds of thousands of dollars of your hard-earned money that you've been saving for years, your entire life sometimes? That is just crazy.
So
but
tragic.
it's happening. It's happening, and you just have to be very careful. And I hate to be the one that says, just don't trust unless you can verify. I mean, but I keep having to say it because it's just a fact. You just have to, be aware that these things out there, and don't be so trusting. I don't want to scare people, but these things are happening, right?
It says
and
here
no
in
one
this
wants to get scammed.
in this article, which is crazy. I'm reading it. It says actually similar sophisticated AI voice cloning fraud has been attempted against other organizations, including LastPass. How many of us are familiar with LastPass? I mean, that's where we save all of our passwords. So I really hope that they're keeping really tight security, because if someone's able, if these fraudsters are able to get access to something like LastPass, I would really hope that LastPass has really got some tight security there. It doesn't seem that they were that they were able to get to breach. But I'm telling you, like, they're really trying hard out there. And I'm always worried about where my passwords are.
And there's still, again, I want to be the one to scare people, but there are a lot of people out there. I'm sure many of you are listening right now that are doing this. But do not use the same password for everything. And especially don't use passwords that are comprised of the typical security questions, This is a little off topic, but this is something to be careful about too. You've probably have seen on Facebook, these posts that say, "What's my elf name?" The first, the name of the street that you lived in, your birthday, stuff like that. The typical things that you're asked in a security questions. That's what those are for. Those are not for fun. They look like they're fun, but they're there to steal your identity at a lot of cases. So don't fall for that and don't play along. Just don't do it, because those things are engineered to steal. It's just a fact. Again, don't want to scare you, but just be careful. If something doesn't seem right, just don't take it for what it is. Just verify.
Yeah, and like you said in our last episode where we talked about this, like, guys, make sure you're using, and this is one of the recommended defenses it says in this article, make sure you're using multi-channel verification for high-value requests. And things like making sure that you have some sort of secret within the company where you have a special password that's needed, or a special word or something where, and maybe you're changing it very often. It's not just there for, forever. You're saying every 3 months, every quarter, or twice a year, we're changing this, or maybe even depending on how much is at risk here, I would say do it even sooner or more regularly. Yeah.
And on your accounts, whenever it's offered, or it should be offered just about everywhere these days, but Facebook is one. Your bank, I think that in the bank it happens automatically anyway, where you have to be sending back a code, right? Whenever you're trying to access certain things, and set the warnings so that if there's a certain amount of money withdrawn, you get a text, something that's immediate. Email is not good enough, because most people don't check email all the time. It should be something that you're going to see and you're going to be alerted to right away. So that 2FA is what it's short for, two-factor authentication. But also on our phones, I have an Android, so I don't know if iPhone is the same, but like there's authenticators in here. There's different types. I use the Google Authenticator, but like a lot of my apps, LastPass, all of those things have a code that you have to type in to access sensitive things like your Stripe bank account, your regular checking account, your credit card, what have you. And these are codes that are refreshed I think it's every 30 seconds. It's like and you just need to do that, because you cannot be too safe. You have to do it. And if you're not technical, then learn it, because it's important. It really is important. And ask for help if you don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies out there that can help, in IT security and stuff. You're going to be able to reach out to them, and they'll be able to help you. And then also, just from as an insurance broker, from a risk perspective, I just want to say also reach out to your insurance broker. If you're in Arizona, you can always reach out to me, or Oregon. But reach out to your insurance agent, insurance broker, look into cyber insurance protection. cybersecurity policies can help with some of the things that could happen if you were targeted and attacked. Also, there is a lot of exclusions in those policies, so you want to work closely with your insurance broker to go over everything and really understand what that policy would cover, and maybe add some additional endorsements on to make sure you're fully covered as a company and understand what would happen if you did have an attack. But I would say more and more reach out and get those policies. If you're a business owner, you do need cyber risk insurance.
And make sure you understand the policy thoroughly, that it's explained. If there's something you don't understand, ask for a thorough explanation so that you do understand and know what you're walking into. Because, we were talking earlier about this. You might think that you don't have to do that much to just put the insurance on and you'll be covered. That's not necessarily the case. There's probably going to be something in there. Insurance companies don't like claims. So there's going to be something in there that if you don't check that box, they can just tell you, yep, sorry, denied, and now you're out. Whatever money was stolen from you, and now you can't even get any of it back. So,
yep. For sure. And one of the things that I always encourage all policyholders is make sure that you're reading your policy and the policy jacket. Actually, inside the policy, it goes over everything in detail. I know it's a pain to have to read all that, but you can use an AI tool to read it. And
you can.
Add it to your notebook LM. Here's all my insurance policies. Make sure I'm covered for everything. Exactly.
Yeah. Explain it to me. And if am I missing something? Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Yes. There's another thing I want to talk about that I haven't had a chance to, that I've had on the top of my mind, and it's that psychiatrist story about AI. So I'd hope we can talk about that in our next episode.
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Cool. Yeah, we're kind of out of time today again, but definitely let's touch that next week in our next episode about that story, because I think that story is kind of cool too. And
agree.
It was kind of a cool story I heard, but on the other, I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious right now? This is crazy. I can't believe this happened. So anyways, well, thank you guys for joining us today. Like always, we ask, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. Share this on all of your social channels if you can. If you came across a short of our video, you can also share that. And we're hoping to really grow our audience and really reach beyond where we're at right now. It's thanks to you, everyone that's our viewers right now, that we've grown to where we're at, but we do want to continue to grow. So we hope that you can do that for us and hit that subscribe button and share and like our channel. And leave a comment if you have anything that you want to ask us or you'd like us to look into. Anything else, Yamille, before we end?
No, that's it. I'm looking forward to hearing that story you were talking about in the next episode. To be interesting.
Okay. We'll talk about that
next week.
Thanks
for joining us. See you next week, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
See you next week. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.